What is up, everyone? Welcome back. It is starting to warm up here. We got carpenter bees flying around and everything, so quite interesting. Glad to have the warm weather back. Real quick, I need to change the coilover springs on the front of Smurf and Yoda, and since I have the coilover brackets and the upper A arms from Stab Fab, um, it's stabfab.com. Jake Stab Fab on Facebook. You can get in touch with him. Uh, it's a really quick, easy process, and so I'm gonna show you. It once you get the wheel off. I have the cab off, so it's not that bad. But even with the cab on, it really isn't that hard to change the springs. Um, so I'm gonna set you up on the tripod and show you how easy it is. All right, so hopefully you can see. You don't need to see me. You can see my hands. Um, Everything is dirty. I've been mocking up this build and trying to get it done, and so everything needs to be washed and cleaned and all that fun stuff. Um, but I'm gonna, I'll walk you or I'll talk you through it while I'm doing it. And like I said, it really shouldn't take but about 10 minutes, unless something goes crazy. And I do have the 9 1/4 or 9 1/2 uh, length coilovers, and I have the 9-inch springs on there, and so it's really tight. I don't have any adjustment. I can't go up and down or anything, so I'm changing to the 7-inch springs. So that'll give me some room to go up and down, kind of tune the suspension a little bit. Um, but these are the flat custom A-arms you can get from Stab Fab, and these are his coilover brackets. Great, I love them. I've had no issues with them, which I haven't really started driving the truck yet, but they were easy to install. It's just like changing a stock upper A-arm. Um, so enough on that, but let's get to it. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take it, I'm just going to raise the jack up and put it up under the A-arm just for security. It's probably not going to go anywhere because I got new ball joints, and so the ball joints keep everything kind of held in place. But I am going to need that lower A-arm to drop down as far as possible. So I'm going to pull the sway bar off. It helps if you go the right way. Which, because I was running these shorter coilovers with the longer springs, I had to move my sway bar back out of the factory location, and I didn't really like that. So that'll be getting changed too. Alright, so the other side's unhooked. That's why I can do that number right there. But from the factory, this is supposed to be up here in the front hole. But it hits, and so I did what I could. Alright, with that out, now all I need to do is take it, and since I have the shorter coilovers with the T-bar on the bottom, the factory nut certs or weld nuts, whatever you want to call them, for the shocks, for the factory shocks, I threaded a bolt up through the bottom, sticking up, and then just put nuts on it. And that nut cert is pretty much exactly the same size as the slot in the T-bar. So it just worked out really good to have them sitting on top instead of on the bottom. And you'll see why in just a second. For me, for my purposes. You know, everybody else might be different, but also with those bolts running from the bottom, I can get this nut off the top pretty easy if I had one of them fancy ratcheting wrenches, and make it even better, faster. But no fancy tools here. Ratchets and wrenches, ratchets and wrenches. But we get it done. Alright, that's the back one. Pull the front one off. Alright, so basically it's loose. Everything is good. That's all you got to do to get this guy out of there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and we'll let the jack down, pull it all the way out. And see, the ball joints are holding it where it's supposed to be, so I didn't really have to have the jack under it. But now, pull the jack out, push it all the way down, just like that. Now, my shock is loose in the upper eye because that was the only way I could get the springs on there. Another reason I didn't like this setup. So, basically all I have to do is grab the bottom of the coilover and spin him, just like that. And it might take a minute, but alright, there you go, just like that. Now, as a part, I'm going to pull the top hat out, and then since I have the longer springs in there, it makes it a little bit more difficult. What I'm going to do, push the sway bar out of the way, come down diagonally. Oops, sorry, I went the wrong direction. Go to the back, and you can pull the whole thing out, just like that. Now we can clean these nasty things up. Alright. Get that all cleaned up. I know this all looks nasty down here, but that's just anti-seize with a bunch of crap stuck to it. So let's clean them up a little bit. Alright. Okay. And so like I said, you know, I had these bolts, they're just run all the way up, sticking straight up through the factory nutsert, and then that T-bar sits down on those. Perfect. This is perfect spread, everything. I'll see if I can find the link to what length T-bar I'm using. Alright, so the revert or the assembly is the reverse of taking it apart. Don't you hate when you read that stuff in a book? Alright, so there you go. Let's push my O-ring down. Alright, and then we can take it and stick them right back in there, just like that. Wipe the top hat off. I really need a soapy water bath. Alright, so top hat's back on there. And just take it and line them up. Like that. I can move him a little bit. So we can take it and get him lined up. Getting it started is the hardest part. Because, oh, I dropped the sway bar all the way off yet. But once you get it started, now we can take it and spin him all the way until it's tight. Just like that. You take the adjustable wrench and put it on the nut on the top of the shaft. Tighten it so it doesn't come loose. And make sure you got it facing the way we want it. And put the jack back under it. Alright, that's back on the bottom. Alright, so we're reinstalled, and now this is where you would set your height. Me, for now, I'm just going all the way up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some preload on the spring. Get the two separated. Okay, run the locking collar up. That's it. So now I have 7-inch 550-pound springs. Anybody's looking for 9-inch 550s, let me know. They up for sale. All right, so that's it. Like I said, I mean, it's really simple to change the springs, the coilover springs, when you have all the stab fab stuff up front. There's more stuff that I could get from him, but at the moment, I'm trying to do other things. So I'm just trying to get the truck to even roll on the road. But that's it for right now. Thank you. For more useless and senseless tips, I guess is what you can call it. Well, I don't know. It might be useful. Uh, Changing coilovers, especially if you track day or something. Instead of thinking you have to tear the whole suspension apart to change your coils, you don't. You just kind of get it just in the right place, hold your tongue just right, and you can get it done. All right. Have a nice day.